Alrighty, guys, what is going on? And welcome to episode number 4 of our Forex Beginner Mastery course. So far to recap, guys, we've gone over quite a bit of information. You know, if you're watching this in chronological order, first things first, you got an introduction to what Forex is, essentially how it works, who the major players are. Second lesson are the different types of currencies. You know, we have the base currencies, the major currencies, the Forex minors or crosses. We even threw in exotics there and introduced you to different currency pairs and how they function. You know, now you obviously know the different ways the market can go. And our last video was going over exchange rates and how to actually calculate pips, right? How to calculate the fluctuations in price. Now, excuse me, today what we're going to be going over are the different trading sessions that you need to be aware about, you know, before you go ahead and actually begin trading. So guys, first things first, I'm based out of South Florida and I am in the Eastern time zone. So if you are also in the Eastern time zone, these, you know, first 4 bullet points literally apply to you. Definitely make sure you have a notebook or start taking some screenshots of this page. First things first, guys, what I personally trade is the New York trading session. Okay, the market opens at 8 and it closes around 5. Now, if you're aware of the New York stock market, their open is 9:30 a.m. and I believe it closes at 4 p.m. So 8 a.m., you know, the Forex market really starts to move. But remember, the volume, which is the people that are literally active, you know, in the world trading, are what make prices go up and down. And obviously, economic purchases, right? So think about it like this. In New York, all the majority of the money being spent in the economy, okay, take place within generally a 9 to 5 workday, right? Pretty straightforward. Most people work 9 to 5 wherever they live. Now, that is the big chunk of the volume that essentially moves these different prices, okay? So, for example, a USD based currency pair, let's say like, I don't know, gold, you know, moves a lot during New York, and it can also move during London as well. So something to just keep a quick note of, and stay with me here, guys. New York and London are the highest volume trading sessions, okay? New York and London are the highest volume trading sessions. And in this case, you see that New York is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but the New York Stock Exchange opens at 9:30 and closes at 4. So generally between the 8 and 9 a.m. open to around 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m., that's the general chunk of all the volume in the market. Secondly, the Tokyo trading session is going to be pretty straightforward, okay? This is for all JPY pairs, all the JPY crosses, right? We have Euro JPY, USD JPY, CAD JPY, GBP JPY, so on and so forth. Okay? Why does that happen? Well, think of it like this. The JPY pairs represent the Japanese yen. Tokyo is in Japan. So in Japan, when they spend all their money is in their 9 to 5 workday. Okay? In their Tokyo time. So obviously, depending on where you are in the world, we have different time zones. So it's important for you to understand this. Forex is 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, but the volume gets pumped in the market for whatever particular currency pair depending on the session. Okay, I think you understand that now. So next we have the Sydney session. If I'm going to be straight up with you guys, the Sydney session is the least volume having trading session. So of the 3, Sydney would be at like number 4 in terms of that is the least volume out of all these sessions. You know, New York and London are pretty much, you know, hand in hand, 1 and 2. Then you have Tokyo, and then Sydney would be last. But I don't look at the Sydney session. That is for Australia, right? It would move like Australia, NZD, and don't get me wrong. When, in New Zealand, they're having interest rate decisions in the evening time, you definitely want to be aware of this. But in terms of like what's most frequent, what's most common, it would be New York, London, and Tokyo. Okay, cool. Now, right under this, you see, well, let me finish this. Sydney is 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern. London is 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Okay, so London usually happens when we're asleep. London's 9 to 5 pretty much, or London's 8 to 5, whatever, happens when here in Eastern time we're asleep overnight, okay? And there obviously is an overlap. So as you can see by this diagram that I've included in my document, you can see UTC time. So let me explain this. EST is Eastern Standard Time. Anybody on the East Coast within the Eastern Standard Time operates in EST. But we use UTC as this universal medium to track the different time zones to make it a little less confusing. So pretty much everybody around the world should be trading, everybody around the world should be trading off of UTC on their charts, okay? And UTC allows us to view all the markets with a universal time conversion. So you don't have to constantly look, oh, what's the time in London? Or oh, what's the time in Tokyo? Or, I don't have a watch, but I'm looking at the watch. You get what I mean? So UTC is going to be your best friend. It essentially makes all the different time zones neutral. So regardless of where you are in the world, as long as you follow UTC time, it makes it easier to follow. Now, as you can see on the document, UTC time is different. It's not, a time zone. We used to use GMT, which is old, like back in the 70s, they switched from GMT to UTC. GMT is an actual time zone, but UTC is not. It's just a universal coordinate. What's the exact definition? Let me see. Universal coordinated time. Okay, I didn't even know how to write it down. So, guys, just to recap, the Forex market is open 24 hours, 5 days a week. But certain currencies only move during the major volume that's pumped into the market during the specific session. Okay, next, what does that mean for you? So as a beginner trader, guys, you really want to take a look at your life situation. If you work 9 to 5 every day, it may be kind of impossible for you to trade New York. You following me? Because you're not going to be available to trade the market. Okay? So depending on your work-life schedule or whatever you got going on, you need to take a look at what are your current obligations and when do you have a couple hours of free time to dedicate to looking at the charts and picking a session. So what I really want to tell you is that you need to pick a session. As a beginner trader, guys, I need you to go ahead and look at your schedule, follow, these different time zones, whether you're in Eastern time like me, or you can use UTC depending on wherever you are in the country or wherever you are in the world, okay? You really want to pick a session that you can dedicate at minimum 1 to 3 hours, 1 to 3 hours, okay, to trading it live, meaning that you can be entirely present during that trading session to observe all the price fluctuations and essentially capitalize on any potential opportunity, okay? So UTC, once again, is an acronym that stands for Universal Coordinated Time. And these different time zones that I have here would be pretty much what we have here, just written down, just so you can take another snapshot, take some notes. The London UTC is from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., Universal Coordinated Time. The New York UTC is from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sydney, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Tokyo, 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. All in UTC. Okay, so you can literally see it here. New York is 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. What do we have here, right? Look at where this begins, 1 p.m. 10 p.m. London, so on and so forth, right? 7 a.m., 4 p.m. You might see a slight variation of an hour difference, but this is going to be as coordinated, as neutral, and as easy to understand as it gets. Obviously, as a beginner, you can be like, dude, wow, that's a lot. That's kind of confusing. You're telling me Eastern Standard Time, but then what if you're in Pacific Standard Time, or what if you're in another place in the world? Then you're like, now you're telling me UTC. Guys, just, let's bring it back. If I lost you there, these are the sessions that work for me, that I have written down, because I'm in Eastern Time. Wherever you work or wherever you live, be aware of that. But all you really need to focus on is the UTC. And then figure out, obviously what that means for your time zone. It's pretty simple. You can go online, look at a time conversion calculator for Forex. If you're in a time zone I didn't go over, and then that will be your answer. But UTC essentially will keep everything very centralized for you and as neutral as possible. So in this case, guys, that's pretty much it. You need to understand the different time sessions that are available as a beginner trader. You need to understand when volume is pumped into the market, and that's going to allow you to prepare yourself to capitalize on whatever opportunity is being presented at that moment in time in whatever market you choose, based off of the time session. It's going to be your best friend, for example, to trade Euro and GBP, based pairs during London, right? Because that's going to be where they use the euros, and the pounds. You see what I mean? And in the UK and Europe and that side of the world. If you're going to be trading a USD based pair, like, I don't know, USD CAD, right? You want to trade that during the New York session, right? If you're going to be trading an indice like the US 30 market, that's pretty much, an index of the stock market. So you want to trade that during New York, so on and so forth, right? The volume that comes into the market for that particular currency pair is just depending on the session. What moves price in the market are people. What moves the market are people like me and you. People buying things in the economy, people in, other parts of the world having news. You'll notice that, like, for example, when there are a lot of, let's see here, look, I had to Google UTC meaning to give you the, because I was like, I didn't even know. Okay, anyway, so, like, for example, like this, you see all of this different, like, fundamental data, core inflation rates, right? Things like that. These things all happen during different times. All the time on the left that you see is Eastern Standard Time, because I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So when these things happen, like, okay, look, let's take a look, for example. NZD would be part of Sydney as well. So they have inflation rates. So like GBP NZD or NZD JPY or NZD CAD or whatever pair you're looking at that has, NZD in it, it's going to move based off of these rates, right? JPY, same thing, medium impact news. This took place around 7:50, like, I don't know, 10-20 minutes ago for me right now. So you just be aware that when you're trading, different markets, these news fundamental data is what actually moves that price for you to make money off the fluctuations, right? So, I'll go over news very, very briefly at another different video, but just so you understand what I'm talking about. I know I'm a visual guy, so I want to see things, what I'm talking about. I want you to understand it. So, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. Definitely on the shorter side of our course videos. I think we're only like at 10-15 minutes right now. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, share, do what you got to do, and stay tuned for our next video, because this course, guys, this Forex Beginner Mastery course, it's coming in hot. I would put in an edit of like something hot in my hands, but that's too much work. So imagine flames, shooting flames, hot. Okay, so guys, peace out. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. Bye.